this edition of Censor, this conservative podcast. So we're just going to dive right in here with the midterms. Last week's round one of the midterm primary, Ted Bunn won his North Carolina Senate race by a landslide. Trump-endorsed trio won their races in the state of Kentucky. Rand Paul, probably one of the senators that I align with the most, won his primary seat. Now, to one of the bigger headlines in the race, Madison Cawthorn has been unseated by Chuck Edwards. Now, I think ultimately what happened here is the deep state and the elites did not like the fact that he was exposing their cocaine and sex parties. The elites didn't like that, so they put a hit out on him. And now, as a result, we're going to get Chuck Edwards more than likely in that House seat. They released his tapes right after as a form of blackmail. Let's be clear. This was blackmail to get him out. Yes, his behavior was degenerate. The tapes never should have existed in the first place. But the timing of this, the whole Madison Cawthorn situation, came at the perfect time so that he would, as a result, lose his seat. And that's ultimately what happened here. Yes, the deep state and the elites found these tapes and used them as a form of blackmail so he would lose his seat. But at the end of the day, none of this should have even existed in the first place. We hold our political leaders to a higher standard. At least we should hold our leaders to a higher political standard. And somebody that has all these scandals obviously should not hold political office. However, the Democrats do far worse and much worse behind closed doors. But again, this is simple stuff that should have been avoided. He should never have been pulled over by the police for reckless driving. Let's be real. Most gun owners know to not have a gun in an airport. I mean, it's kind of common sense, but we lack that in today's world. But now, because of his actions, he was replaced by a pro-amnesty neocon. So, if you're a Republican politician, you're obviously held to a higher standard as a Democratic politician. The Democrats can do whatever they want, virtually, and act like complete degenerates, whereas if you're a Republican, you are held to a different standard. I don't really have a problem. I have a problem with the double standard, but I think all politicians should be held to a higher standard because they represent our government. But, Democrats do whatever they want, so, PA elected Doug Mastriano for the Republican governor's race. That is a very pro-Trump candidate in the PA governor's race. And in the Pennsylvania Senate race, we are coming down to a week and 1 day now, and we still do not know the winner of the Senate Republican primary. Why is that? Countries like France and other high, top, prominent countries can get their whole elections done in 1 day. Get their whole counts done in 1 day. And yet, the Pennsylvania State Senate race has taken a week, and we still do not know the winner. That is ridiculous. That is absurd. A week later, we don't know the results of an election. Anyway, does it really even matter, though, in this situation? Because the two people running, Dave McCormick, who has business ties with China and ties with the World Economic Forum, versus Dr. Oz, who for years had a medical talk show on TV, was a Hollywood buddy with Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey. And let's be real, he said on The Breakfast Club that abortion is none of his business. He's so pro-choice. He's had transgenders on his show. He's talked about red flag gun laws on his show. So he's a pretty clear rhino, and really could not be trusted. And then we had a third candidate that was in the race, and she was polling above Dr. Oz. And the minute she was deemed a threat to an establishment, we had Sean Hannity and Greg Kelly completely go on a smear campaign. And they completely basically trashed her chances at winning the Pennsylvania Senate race. Now, were their claims valid? Sean Hannity brought up vetting. She wasn't properly vetted. Well, did you really care about that, Sean? I don't think so. Because you didn't vet Dr. Oz. The guy was, a Hollywood elite liberal his entire career, pro-transgender, pro-gun rights, pro-Obamacare. And boom, you want him in the Senate, so you trash Kathy Barnett. Okay, David McCormick and Dr. Oz are elitists. They're, suit and tie kind of politicians. Whereas Kathy Barnett was an American grassroots candidate. I mean, a lot of what Sean Hannity was basing his arguments off of were out of context tweets. Those tweets were not by themselves, they were hashtag on a video to promote a video. If anyone knows how Twitter works, you post whatever you want to post, and then you can put hashtags to promote said item. That's what she was doing here. And the defund the police and the BLM thing, that was taken out of context and used by both Greg Kelly and Sean Hannity. Disgusting reporting from people that claim to be on our side. Also, there was a multiple doctored video clips going around about her as well, with the endings chopped off. You know how they do with politics here. They chop different pieces. And this was all to completely screw with the Pennsylvania Senate race. And now Pennsylvania is stuck with 2 World Economic Forum members that are a part of the World Economic Forum, pushing the Great Reset. So, Pennsylvania, we're screwed. And that, I don't have anyone else to blame for that, other than the people that destroyed Kathy Barnett. Because Dr. Oz ain't it, and David McCormick ain't it. Alright, and now to some shorter headlines. U.S. diesel shortages will really be impacting this country, as diesel will go up. This according to the Daily Caller. So diesel is going to shoot up. We already have record high gas prices all across the country, and they're going to continue to rise. And as the price of diesel goes up, the price of everything else will in turn follow, because you need to make up for that cost of transportation of goods somehow. So the price of everything is going to go up. And what does the Biden administration have to say about this? Literally nothing. I mean, at first they blamed COVID. Then they blamed They blamed COVID and Trump. Then they blamed Putin. Quit making excuses and fix the damn problem that your administration created by cutting not only the Keystone XL pipeline, but multiple pipelines in this country and cut down oil production and gas production. We went from being energy independent under the Trump administration to now being reliant on countries that hate us for our oil and gas production. Another story that came out this week of nearly half of Joe Biden's Twitter followers are fake bots. Again, what Twitter does, and this is very common of Twitter, they boost up accounts and have a bunch of fake bots follow accounts to make somebody look more popular than they are, and they artificially boost certain left-wing talking points and left-wing holidays. They boost them in the trending section of Twitter and act like people are talking about them. And by artificially boosting it, it makes it look like it's really popular, when in reality, it's not. So this is all like the inside game of Twitter, which is going to lead to our next thing, which is also Twitter-related. Project Veritas, wonderful news reporting organization, had a video come out where their Twitter employee literally said they do not believe in free speech, says they are communist, says they act like socialists. So let me just roll that.
What do you mean? Free speech. Capitalists, if we weren't really operating like capitalists more, we were very socialist. Like, we're all like communist. Ideologically, it does not make sense, like, because we're actually censoring the right and not the left. Because everyone on the right wing will be like, bro, it's okay to say, you just gotta tolerate it. The left will be like, no, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I need it censored, or else I'm not gonna be in the country. So it does serve the right. It's true, there is a bias.
I don't know, the two parties can truly coexist on one platform.
What do your colleagues say about it? Like,
They hate it. Oh my god, I'm at least like okay with it, but some of my colleagues are like super left.
what do they say?
They're like, this will be my last day if it happens. So,
Has much changed since like Elon's coming out?
a lot has changed. A lot has changed. We're all like worried for our jobs.
Why are you guys so worried?
You know, jobs.
As you can see there, he got caught admitting what we all already knew. We all knew Twitter was a fraud. We all knew Twitter was a communist political platform pushing one side of the story, and all social medias, for the most part, are like that. But he just admitted the quiet part out loud for everybody to hear. Now to some more disturbing headlines. So a mom got cut off at a school board meeting for reading this. Okay, normally I would say that's a good thing because you should not be reading profanity at a school board meeting. However, this was what her 15-year-old daughter had to memorize and read in front of her school class. Let me hold it together here. But why are we pushing this lesbian, LGBTQ, verbal, sexually inappropriate stuff on children? Okay, early teen. That is disgusting. And look, if you deem it inappropriate to read at a public school board meeting in a room full of adults, isn't it also inappropriate to read in front of a room full of teenagers? I must have missed the memo there. Last time I checked, adults are older than teenagers. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And now to an even more disturbing headline. A teen in Wisconsin has been charged with sexual harassment for misgendering somebody. So if you call a boy, or if you call a boy transitioning into a girl, a boy, or a girl transitioning into a boy, a girl, and stick with their biological gender, which you cannot change no matter how much you Democrats want to say you can change it, you get charged with sexual harassment now. I think that is a big slap in the face to anyone that has actually been sexually harassed. Because that is political correctness gone mad. This is insane at this point. You're allowed to misgender somebody in this country. It is not illegal. The case should have been dismissed on the spot. But we are living in joke world where this is grounds for your child to be expelled from school. Expelled. Over a joke. So in other words, you have to kiss ass with the transgender or else be expelled. This is just an attempt to silence the truth. That's all this is. An attempt to silence the truth by means of bullying and persecution. Now look, I don't care. You can go identify and dress and be whatever the heck you want. But to deny basic biology and to say that men can be women and women can be men, that is just completely false. And to say that you can change your gender, no, you can't. It's just mind-blowing how far the pendulum has shifted and how we are now supposed to support and go along with the mental illness that is transgenderism and gender dysphoria. We have to kiss their ass. We have to go along with it. Because if we don't, we're canceled. I don't understand that one. God bless. Have a good week.